Ethan, how's it going? I'm so super excited to cash my first paycheck. It was so hard working at the bakery the last couple of weeks and have to wait to get paid when I have so many things I need to spend this money on.
Hey Shelby, I remember when I got my first paycheck from the bakery too. So you got big plans for your first check, huh?
Oh, you bet I do. Wait, Ethan, there's something horribly wrong with this check. It's missing like a quarter of my pay.
That's another thing I remember about my first paycheck. There's this thing called taxes, and they're taken out of your wages before you even see it. It's a good thing to remember.
What do you mean, taken out of my paycheck? I have things I need to spend this money on.
Really, Shelby? Things you need to buy? If you think about it, needs are the things that are required for your survival, like food, water, shelter, clothing, and transportation. We have to buy those things, but we're just juniors in high school, so our parents help us out with those need things right now.
Well, sure, my parents help me out with things like that, but there are other things that I need to buy. Like clothing. You said that's a need. Prom is right around the corner, and I need to buy a dress, shoes, and jewelry. I can't just go waiting till the last minute to buy things like that.
Yeah, well, you might consider those things to be a need, but they sound more like a want to me. Sometimes we take something that we need and turn it into a want by getting picky about what kind of clothing that we buy.
So then, what's a want?
Wants are the things that make life a little bit more fun, but they aren't really essential for our survival. Really, Shelby, you might survive without the brand new shoes and jewelry to go with your brand new prom dress.
You clearly don't understand what it's like to be a 17-year-old girl, Ethan.
Well, Shelby, it's kind of like the cupcakes we make at the bakery every day.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Ethan. Sure, we make tons of cupcakes at the bakery, but what does that have to do with my paycheck, besides the fact that we get paid to make the cupcakes? Wow, great story, Ethan. Thanks.
Oh man, settle down. Here's what I mean. You know the red velvet cupcakes that we sell out at the bakery almost every single day?
Well, yeah.
And how they have the cream cheese frosting and the little red sugar stars sprinkled on top?
I still don't see the connection.
Well, think of it like this. The cupcake part is what's really, really required. Without it, all we have is a blob of icing and some sugar decorations. Not much you can do anything with at all. So the cupcake part is like our needs. Without first paying for stuff like food, water, clothing, and shelter, it'd be pointless to buy something like a video game.
Sure, that makes sense.
So then you have the icing and the sugar decorations. All the stuff that makes the cupcake even better. But really, if you were starving to death, would you actually require the icing on your cupcake, or would you just eat it?
I'd eat the cake. Duh.
Right. So the icing and decorations are like the ones we have in life. Pointless without the cake. But they really add a lot to the cake. The icing and decorations make the cake look and taste a lot better. Kind of like when we've already used our money to buy what we need in life, we can use our extra money to get the things that make life a little bit more fun.
Hi, welcome to First National Bank. How may I help you?
Hi, I'd like to deposit $250 in my checking account and $75 into my savings. It's right here on the slip.
Okay.
Wait, what, Ethan? Why would you put all that into your savings account? You're just going to have to come back here later to pull it out when you're ready to spend it. That makes about as much sense as taxes.
Shelby, it's important to save some of your paycheck. You never know when an emergency might come up. Even better, I'm saving up to help with my college expenses in a couple of years. You don't plan on spending your entire paycheck on prom, do you?
Well, actually, I plan to spend more than the whole thing. How can you just put that money in your savings account when you need it for things now, Ethan? Don't you feel just a little bit like you're missing out on some things? Like, what if you found an awesome sale on something that you'd love to have? It would save you money when you bought it on sale, right?
Well, I guess you could look at it like that. I think what you're talking about is a trade-off, Shelby.
What is a trade-off?
I'm making a trade-off by not spending all my money right now. I might have to put off a little bit of fun, or maybe the satisfaction of getting a new iPod. But I'd also like not to be stressed that I'm going to run out of money before I get my next paycheck, or that I'm going to have to pay repairs for my car, or some other unexpected emergency. I'd also like the security of knowing that when I go away to college, I'll have some money to put away to make that time a little bit less stressful.
So, anytime I spend money, I'm making a trade-off?
Yes. Anytime you make a financial decision, there's a trade-off involved. Think about it, Shelby. When you spend your entire paycheck on prom, you might be put in a position to ask your parents for money before the week runs out. And if you save nothing for college, you'll have to deal with the stress later about worrying about daily living expenses and stuff like that, more than if you'd save some money to help with that.
Geez, Ethan, you make some really good points. But really, if I want to spend all my money to look great at prom, that's none of your business. Just like it's none of my business if you want to look like, well, that. and keep all your money in the bank.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Everyone makes their own financial decisions based on what they consider to be a need. A little thing called values comes into play.
Values?
Yes, values. Values are the things that we consider to be important in life. It's easy to see what people consider to be important if you look at how they spend their money. Special occasions like prom and looking great must be important to you. Planning for the future and being financially independent and secure are important to me.
So that explains why we have such different opinions about what to spend our money on.
Exactly.
You make some really good points about being more independent about money. Maybe I could look into some other options for prom. I know people sell their used dresses for cheaper than buying a new one. Maybe I could borrow some jewelry instead of buying new jewelry that I'll only use once. That way I'd have a little bit of money to keep in my savings.
Now you're thinking. You can still look great at prom and still keep some of your money too. Every trade-off has some opportunity costs. Opportunity costs are the value of each trade-off. Opportunity costs allows you to analyze the alternative choices to decide which decisions to make.
And I bet how people decide what is an opportunity cost is based on their values, right?
Yes, so even if it looks like there might not be that many choices in an option, you can almost always get creative and come up with an opportunity cost to better reflect your values. Besides, Shelby, you always look great. You don't need that extra stuff to look great on prom anyways.
Here you go, Ethan. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Next.
Hi, I'd like to open a savings account with $30 of my check and cash the rest, please. See you around. Maybe at prom.
Count on it.